Hello and welcome back to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. This week's episode, we're going to be talking about how grateful are you on this journey of yours in fasting. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit, so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicki Sharon, and thank you for joining me. Gratitude, not commonly a topic that is addressed, mentioned, talked about, or at all discussed generally in weight loss diet culture. Having an attitude of gratitude, I've mentioned and talked about a lot here and there, but I felt it was necessary to give gratitude its own full episode because especially on this journey, you, I hope, are taking plenty of moments throughout your journey, throughout your victories, your setbacks, your plateaus, hardships, and every little mundane nuance that happens with you, for you, to you on your journey. I hope you're taking present, aware moments and acknowledging how grateful you are, how grateful you feel to be allowing your body to participate in this full healing and restoration that's happening right now in your body. If you're in a fasted state, if you just broke your fast and you're listening to this, you're doing it. You are doing it. You're doing a beautiful job. So please have gratitude for the body, the process, the deliberate actions and steps that you take, that you have been taking so far in your journey. So I've mentioned before about taking these moments, right? So in these moments where everything just feels like chaos, or sometimes it feels like you're on autopilot. You've ever had those moments? Because I know I have, where you're driving and you're so out of your body thought-wise, where you're thinking about what's next or what you have to do or what's coming up or what was already done, where you're not even presently aware of where you're driving. And then the next moment you realize, I'm home, when you weren't even really fully present that whole time. If you take moments, and it's not going to be easy, especially if you're constantly seeing yourself disconnected, to not paying attention to pulling yourself out of this autopilot kind of status. Being in the moment is especially important, especially throughout this fasting journey of bodily healing and weight balancing that we're expecting to have within ourselves. As you're, let's say, driving, if you do a lot of driving, if you do a lot of sitting, looking out your window at your desk, or wherever life takes you on a more consistent time, whatever your daily schedule is, if you can find these little moments to deliberately bring attention to not allowing your body and mind really to go into autopilot, and to really take those aware breaths and really look around for something new and exciting that you see or notice. Doesn't it necessarily have to be internally, but it can be something externally that you notice, maybe something different. Maybe it's starting little silly fun traditions you could do. For every Monday you do this, for every, so on and so forth day you do that. Having little fun components of each and every day is something that can really bring that excitement and change, and that like creative, explorative kind of childish mindset. Obviously in an adult/child kind of mindset way, but having that excitedness for the everyday sort of activity, despite, maybe just another day at work or another day at home. But you can find little things throughout each of your days to make it exciting, to put little fun twists, to keep your attention and gratitude present and focused with you in each of these moments along your journey. Because when you're in these moments and you're attaching a positive emotion to it, these are the things that you're going to remember. So even if it's something that didn't work out, if you find some way to fake it till you make it, right? So even if you have to fake it at first, because if it's such a hard reflex to fix for yourself and just feeling like always going on autopilot, or, maybe alternatively, you could also think like, this is such a boring, I hate this, whatever. if you can find ways to flip that thinking. So instead of saying, oh, I hate my job, I really hate it, find something, truly think about what you like about doing what you do, what you have to do. Adding a positive thought or feeling to something initially or maybe habitually for many years, it could be, where you attach this negative emotion to it and you keep having to either do it, say it, get it, go there, whatever, the more you're going to try to avoid it or to like mentally check out, right? So if you can find ways to be grateful for having to do this job, for having to be at this certain place to earn a paycheck, what it's providing for you, for your family, having gratitude despite those negative components, overlook them as long as they're not causing like safety or danger, because that's a whole nother thing. If they are just like negative things, find ways that you can think about them so that you attach a positive emotion to it, so you can have awareness and gratitude despite these, inconveniences or annoyances that you have towards, this thing, place, habit, hobby, job, or whatever. If you can do that and finding the ability to flip a negative into a positive, practice that. And like I said, it's probably not going to be something you do easily, immediately at first try. It's probably going to feel hard and uncomfortable, similar to my mirror talk, which if you've heard me talk about the mirror talk, like this is going to be up there with that, challenging as well. But it's one of those things that if you stick with it and you have that, again, creative, exploratory kind of mindset of finding new little beautiful details about things that were negative, you can flip them to a positive no matter what they are. Again, as long as it's not a dangerous or unsafe condition or circumstance. Another way I think is really great that you can express a lot of gratitude for yourself and for this process with fasting. Think about this for a second. Do you hold on to positive moments too tight, in the sense where you wish you could have them forever, and you're always expecting things to go your way, or you maybe are always believing things will be easy so that you can alleviate the stressors, and taking a reactive, defensive mindset stance, I guess, when things don't go your way. That hyper reactivity, whether positive or negative, isn't, of course we can't be like, oh, perfect, Vicky's always set. No, Vicky's not always like, sunshine and roses, as you see. Like, I get, upset sometimes. It's along this process, you're going to really identify and really single and call out what those pain points and stressors are in your life. Maybe not directly related to your fasting journey, but things will bubble up over time. The more you kind of, I imagine it like a knotted ball of Christmas lights. So like, okay, you first start getting the few knots and tangles out of there, but there's still more. But if you are super like defensive and reactive and, oh my, I hate this, and it's always this, think about that for a second. Truly think about that for a second, how that can apply to your life and your journey. If you're always having a mindset of, oh, this always happens to me, or oh, my blah, blah, where did you first start hearing these words? These words that you remember hearing from family, friends, as you grew up from childhood age? Because if that's the case, think about how you can dismantle them. And one way that I know I did personally was realizing that people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions should not be something that you hold on to. If that's their thoughts, opinions, emotions, response, that's them. They need, that's responsibility that they take. You do not take responsibility for other people's thoughts, reactions, responses, behaviors. What you're told as a child, even if it's something negative, obviously, I'm sure you probably realize by now, we hold on to them. And dismantling and removing attachment from those thoughts with gratitude, as odd and backward as it sounds, I remember from my childhood being told that I would always be the big girl. I would always be stuck at a bigger weight. and I hated it. I didn't want it. I was not going to hold on to it. I didn't want it to be my identity, but it felt forced on me. And I took that feeling. Obviously, we know now that I handled it very poorly with just binging and eating myself silly with my sadness and emotions attached to that. Again, those were not my thoughts, feelings, and emotions, but they became mine the more I heard it. But realizing over time that those thoughts and feelings were not mine, and you don't have to hold on to them. So having gratitude for myself in that realization that those old thoughts, feelings, and emotions from people that I love that are in my family, I don't need to hold on to anymore. I don't identify, I don't agree with, this is not me. I have gratitude for the ability for myself to acknowledge and own and realize that's their responsibility, despite, how poorly it made me feel. And I have gratitude for myself in that I refuse to play the victim anymore. I refuse to think that I'm busted and broken and can't fix myself, when in actuality, we can, like I did. And this leads into learning to be okay with either positive or negative outcomes as they come day to day, moment to moment. And as we get further along into our journey where we have these victories, or conversely, we have these setbacks, and do you feel like maybe I did when I first started out with, let's say, the previous weight loss methods, where, we have this expectation going in that it's going to be this amount of pounds by this many amount of days. And then when you fall short of that, or, you have a couple days that, quote unquote, air quotes, didn't go to plan, do you just play the victim? Do you self-sabotage? Do you throw yourself under the bus? Because you will, over time, become more resilient, and that gratitude throughout this journey will increase more and more overall. The more you have patience for yourself, gratitude and compassion for yourself and for your journey, that when you realize in these tough moments, decisions, new challenges that come up, maybe your day plan changed, and now you have to think about, okay, am I going to break my fast now? Is it this? What is the food going to be like? I don't know, without getting yourself super worked up. Learning to be okay despite the positive or negative outcomes, despite challenges that you may face, are going to help you significantly on this. It's going to make you so much more resilient for this journey and for other things in your life as a side effect of your journey through fasting. And it makes you have this additional layer of resiliency for the life stressors that can come, whether global news things like shutdowns and quarantines and things, or, day-to-day stressors like traffic on your way to work or to and from errands, or maybe there was a piece of mail that you were expecting to be here by a certain day and it didn't come, or shipment or package or whatever. And having gratitude for this process, for yourself, and your ability to be aware in each of these present moments, to not immediately get reactive, defensive, are going, like I said, it's going to build up your resiliency to be able to withstand these stressors that will keep coming. These stressors, we can't avoid them. We can't wish to not have any stressors, because that would be honestly a lame and boring life. And I don't want that life. I'd rather have challenges and things that I can do to become a better version of me that I was since the day before. Because really, that's all you should be comparing yourself to as well. So if you want to be more assertive in your practice of being more grateful, my suggestion for you would be to practice and imagine positive and negative outcomes. So let's say if you map out and know exactly what your next week or day looks like. If you look at your upcoming schedule and really imagine the whole day playing out, like whether, at the beginning or start of your day, whatever works better for you. If you can just give yourself like a meditation kind of maybe 5 or 10 minute little time out where you can lay down, sit down, close your eyes and truly imagine. Imagine getting to this place or doing whatever you have to do the next day, and go through your entire week and play out the day that you envision for yourself. And if you can make that as real and as vivid and positively emotion-full, come on, Vicky, as full of positive emotions as possible, and really seeing things go your way, that's going to be a really key player in your ability to withstand, the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs and stressors of how your day could potentially go. Because if you think about putting intentions out there, so you're really imagining what your intention would be. Now, we know as adults, like, it's not going to come out absolutely perfect to what you were imagining, and we know this, but if you have this thought and intention that you meditated on and imagined and saw for yourself, and attach a positive emotion to that, when you go into this, you're going in with that excited kind of childlike outlook for that day, that moment, that event, or whatever it is, with this curiosity, ready to learn and absorb what's truly going to happen. And chances are you're going to have a much better and more positive experience overall with this than if you look at your upcoming schedule, if this is the type of person that you are, because this used to be me, where I would look at what's coming up for the week and oh my gosh, what's this? Oh no, I have this, and do I have this? Your mind just goes, and you're on the domino thought train to self-sabotage as far as I'm concerned. But again, just practice and really imagine and play out what the day is going to look like for you. If you want to make it a habit of doing it daily, the night before, the following day of whatever, your schedule is. If you're a week by day kind of person, awesome. But the more you can, like I said, attach that positive emotion to what your day can look like. And really, truly, like I said, having that deliberate practice of gratitude for yourself on this journey is going to make you so powerful, and it's only going to add and compound on the other work that you've been doing for yourself, because I know you've been doing good. I know it. Don't ask me how I know. I just know you've been rocking this, and I'm super proud of you. So before I give you my virtual hug, I want you to take a moment right now. Give yourself a hug, like, old school. Wrap your arms, left arm to right shoulder, right arm to left shoulder, and twist and squeeze and take a good breath. Squeeze a little bit more and then let it out. Now I'm going to give you a big virtual hug because you're doing this. You're doing a great job. I appreciate you listening, hanging out with me, being patient with me as I took a slight break last week. Getting into the spring break with my kids has been a little bit hectic, but that's okay. We pivot, we adapt, and we are grateful for every opportunity and schedule change as it comes up. So I greatly appreciate every single person listening. Like I always say, I truly believe in every single one of you listening, no matter where you are in the world. I know that you can do this. I care about you. And if you need help on your journey, please don't feel like that you have to do this alone. If you are in need of help, I would love to be there and support you. TheFastingFocusedLifestyle.com has my calendar, additional resources there. And coming soon, as I've said, my handbook is in the final stages. So stay tuned for that. I will definitely update if you are subscribed to my website. So thank you again, everybody, for listening. I appreciate you, and I believe in you, even if you don't. I'm going to give you one more virtual hug. Thank you, everybody. Take care. The Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2023. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.